Welcome into this special Open Division edition of Bleacher Talk presented by Via Luna. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon here.
We're finally in the bleachers. The graphic we have up of us, we actually look like it right now somewhat. It's official now. We're at Liberty High School. Beautiful field, beautiful facilities. We've got a jam-packed show for you today. We're talking to coaches all throughout the Open Division. Of course, we've got our quick picks with Bruce Cooper coming up right around the corner, and a special edition of Social Spotlight, some recruiting roundup with our colleague Jordan Ham. It's a jam-packed show for Bleacher Talk. I'm so excited for this.
I am too, but now it's time to bring in Bruce Cooper. Let's do it. And we're going to get right into these quick picks. The first matchup, Bruce, I'm going to let you take it away. ALA Queen Creek versus Hamilton.
Oh, wow. Wow. You know what? I was at LA Queen Creek's only loss this year. It was at Saguaro. Very impressed with the job that Ty Detmer, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Max Hall, the great Mountain View and Arizona Cardinal player as well, have done with that program. But at the end of the day, guys, I mean, I just think Hamilton is too deep, too talented. I just have to go with the Huskies. Great season, however, for Ty Detmer and company. I like Hamilton, 28-19.
Oh, keeping it close, though. Fairly close there. All right, what do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, Hamilton's been the team to beat this year. They're coming off a big win in the battle for Arizona Ave against Chandler. They're going to win pretty easily. ALA Queen Creek belongs in the Open Division. They had a really good season, but I think Hamilton's going to win this game 35-17.
I mean, you guys pretty much said it all. I'm also going to have to go Hamilton here. I mean, obviously, we like what we're seeing at ALA Queen Creek. I do wish that we could have seen them in a 4A bracket. They would have absolutely dominated. But in this case, it's really hard to bet against Hamilton, especially after what we just saw against Chandler. So I'm also going to go Hamilton here. The next matchup we're chatting about is Queen Creek versus Chandler. So we're just bringing up the two top seeds here. Jordan, take it away. What do you think?
Yeah, this one, Queen Creek versus Chandler. Queen Creek gave Chandler a run for their money early on in the season. They played them really strong for 3 quarters. I just think now, especially coming off the loss, the losing streak is over, or the winning streak is over for Chandler. They're looking to avoid a losing streak, and so I do think they're going to come out with a vengeance and take care of business early. I expect Chandler to beat Queen Creek 35-14.
Okay, so you're actually not keeping it close despite what happened earlier this season. I think I'm going to keep it close, but I do think Chandler's going to come out with a W in this one. I'll keep it simple, though. I'm going to say low scoring, 20-14, so fairly close. What do you think, Bruce?
Well, you guys talked about the 45-game winning streak is over. Well, they have another streak that's on the line, and this one's far more important. 5 straight state championships, including the last 2 and only 2 Open Division championships. And so I know Rick Garrettson's going to be on his guys about protecting that legacy there. And so I just think they're going to get the job done. And you guys talked about the earlier matchup. I think that now Keon Graves now has a few games behind him. Now he missed the first 6. I think Hamilton will win this one, and I think it'll be pretty much around what we saw earlier. I think it was like a 26-7 game earlier, if I'm not mistaken. I like 27-7. Chandler, excuse me.
So are you just predicting what we're going to see down the line here? All right, the next matchup we got is Saguaro versus Cactus. Bruce, I'll let you take it away again.
Wow. I mean, look, you got to give it up to Coach Ortiz. I mean, he's really turned that program around in just a really, really short time. I mean, transitioning in there from Coach Feckenheier. I mean, look, I think they're one of the more balanced teams on both sides of the ball. They show a lot of physicality on that defensive side of the ball. But Saguaro, they really have been there, seen that, done that. You know, we won't count last year's pandemic that kind of threw them out of the mix, but they're getting some transfers that are eligible now to play. I think they have a few too many playmakers for Cactus. So I like a close game. Give me Saguaro 27, Cactus 24.
All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and make my pick. I think Cactus is a little underrated here, considering that they're 10-0. I mean, going into this, we're kind of underplaying a little bit. Yes, I like what you say about Saguaro having been there, done that, but isn't that just extra motivation for a team that's kind of looking to prove themselves? So I'm actually going to give Cactus the win here. So I don't know, Jordan, you kind of can split the decision here. What do you think?
So we're not going to agree across the board this time. That's how you know it's a good open division this year. It's really loaded. Cactus deserving of the home game against Saguaro, but Saguaro, they're just primed and ready to make a run. Last year, they didn't get to due to COVID situation after Thanksgiving break. They weren't able to play in the open, and I think they're ready to do it again. Their only loss this year was just them going for it all at the end of the game against Chandler, going for 2 instead of the game-tying extra point attempt. Didn't work out in their favor. That's why they're the 5 seed instead of the 4. So I think 2 really good teams, but Saguaro's probably going to beat Cactus. I'm going to pick them to win 24-21. It's going to be a close game.
Remember, going against the grain is what helps you come out on top. So I'm hoping this does something here for me. All right, last matchup. Liberty and Basha. No pressure here. We're in front of a Liberty crowd right now watching us. So, Jordan, what do you think here?
Oh, gosh, I got to go first. Okay, well, this is going to be a really great game. This is the game of the week, in my opinion. I think both these teams are playing phenomenal football. We know Basha's 10-0 for the first time in program history. Liberty played a lot of tough games and found ways to find themselves in this spot. I haven't been able to see Liberty play yet, and that is going to be the difference for me. I've seen Basha play. It's really tough, especially here at Liberty, but Basha right now, 10-0. Their quarterback, Damon Williams Jr., is just on another level. I expect them to win a thriller, potentially going into overtime. I think it's going to be 28-27 Basha over Liberty.
Oh, okay. So we're keeping it close here. I am going to have to agree, unfortunately. There was an argument to be made about Basha potentially being the 2 seed. I mean, they went into this 10-0, and then we've got Chandler, who has a loss on their schedule. So it is, there is an argument to be made for Basha, but that's nothing against what Liberty has done so far. I wouldn't be surprised if Liberty came out with the win, but I think in order to kind of hopefully help my odds here a little bit with this leaderboard, I think I'm going to go Basha, and I'll go with the same score. I'm in total agreement. What do you think? Yeah, we got some boos over here.
We got the Boo Birds out here. They had a Coop chant earlier. We'll echo your pick, but where are you going?
Hey, well, let me tell you something. I think this game is a complete toss-up. I mean, Liberty on the west side, you talk about respect or lack thereof, that program doesn't get the respect that's due them. Look, their only 2 losses this season happen to be to 2 teams in the open division, Queen Creek and Chandler. This is a very talented team. But so since I have to pick someone, Jordan, I do agree with you. I mean, they have a very talented junior class. Basha does. I mean, their sophomore quarterback, Williams, just a sensational guy. I just think that at the end of the day, they have a little bit too much speed and a little bit too much talent, even though Liberty plays with a lot of physicality and a lot of grit. So I do agree it's going to be a close game. Yeah, give me Basha 30-28.
Well, that wraps up our quick pick segment. I don't know about you, but we're getting down into the thick of it, and I'm so excited to see who wins it all.
We're going to continue getting into the thick of it in this show. Up next, we've got coaches from all throughout the Open Division chatting with us for a little bit, and of course, we've got our social spotlight with Jordan Ham this time to talk a little bit of recruiting roundup as well. Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. We're live at Liberty High School coming at you from the bleachers. And up next, we've got 4 coaches from around the Open Division that we're talking to hot potato style, quick and easy.
Now we've got Cactus head coach Joseph Ortiz with us. Let's just get right into it. What has practice been like this week, and what's the mindset?
Having the bye week, we've been able to slowly put in our game on both sides of the ball. But on Tuesday, we were in shells and we were popping. The kids were ready. They're hungry. It was probably one of our best Tuesday practices of the year. So they're ready. We did grind days all this week. So they're hungry. They're ready. I think we got some work to do still to be ready for next Friday, but we're getting there. It's a process. Saguaro's fast and athletic. They're big. They're strong. It's a typical Saguaro team. But they're really good. They're well coached over there by Coach Mons and everyone, but we got to keep that going. And, it should be a battle.
And last thing for you, Coach, what's the message to your team when you guys knew you were going to make the Open Division and just embracing the competition there?
It's an honor, after Max Prep dropped that top 10, playoff divisions in the country, and we're number 7 to be one of the top 4 seeds and host it is pretty honorable. So that's a great feeling. But we know we're the underdog. We're the small school in this playoff, and we're going to give it our best, and we're going to try our best. We don't have the biggest depths and the biggest size, but our kids play fast and hungry, and we're excited for the challenge.
So next up, we're joined by Saguaro head coach Jason Mons. Coach, you got a road game against Cactus here in the Open Division. Last year, you guys weren't able to play. What does it mean to you to have this game this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we went through last year, Thanksgiving morning is usually a pretty special day. We had practiced 7 years in a row on Thanksgiving morning, and our season got cut short on Thanksgiving last year. So it was kind of some really brutal memories of having to notify our team and notify our seniors, and so we're just grateful to have the opportunity to play. And I think able to put things in perspective and just appreciate the opportunity where you realize that every opportunity to play in the postseason is special, especially during the COVID times that we're still kind of living in.
What is the biggest challenge that you think Cactus presents, and what do you think your team will do best against them?
Well, they're a terrific team. They've done a great job. They score a lot of points. They're really dynamic, skill wise. Spread it all around. I think their quarterback's a terrific player. They're disciplined on defense and run hard to the ball. So, really our experience of playing against the big schools, playing teams like Sierra Canyon from California, I think we've got to take that level of physicality to them because it is. We've been in 4A and it's different. So I think we need to make sure that we really work to establish line of scrimmage, limit explosive plays, and make it a physical kind of 12-round title fight.
Yeah, Coach, doubling down on that, I've got one more thing for you. Some say the Open Division was made because of the success your program had. So what does it mean to prove that you guys are there again?
Yeah, I mean, we're one of 3 schools that have qualified for the Open in each of its first 3 years of existence, and we take a lot of pride in that. We agree with those some people that say. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that was one of the primary, if not the reason why it was created, and that's great. We've never run from competition. We've always scheduled up, played higher division teams, playing teams from out of state. So where our program is at right now, we live for it. And the first year of the Open, I told people, I said I think there were some people that legitimately thought they could win the Open, some people that were just happy to get in, and some people that didn't want anything to do with it. And we've always viewed ourselves as a team that not only do we want to get in the Open, but we genuinely are working to win it, to be there. We want to make a run. We're not afraid of anybody. We respect everybody, including Cactus, our first round opponent. They're a terrific team, and we know as a former 4A school that your conference placement does not dictate the type of team you are.
All right, well, now we've got head coach at Basha, Chris McDonald, here with us. And this upcoming week, you're going to face Liberty. What do you think that they're going to present to you guys as a challenge?
Well, they do a lot offensively, and they do a lot defensively, and they're a nightmare to prepare for. They're well coached, and so they're physical and fundamental in what they do, and so they present a lot of challenges in terms of if we don't show up and match their physicality and we don't match them fundamentally and taking care of the football and understanding what they're trying to do, they can pose a lot of problems.
Coach, what's your response to people when they say your team is really young, maybe here a year too early? How do you respond to that?
I hear it a lot, and we have a lot of juniors that play as well. We have some seniors that play, and I guess we're young, but they've been through an entire varsity season, and so once you're 10 games in, I don't know if you can really use that excuse anymore, and we definitely don't want to use that excuse. We want to go in, with the confidence that we've been playing with all season, and our kids, our younger kids, are gamers, and they show up when the lights are on.
What has your approach at practice been like this week? Is there anything you're trying to hammer out?
To hammer things out, we just needed to get back into the groove. We're going to go on 3 weeks in between our last game and our open date. We had a bye week our last season, so we finished the season before anybody else did. And there's some good to that and some bad to that. Obviously, we got our kids to get recharged a little bit, gave them some time off that first week, and then got back at it towards later of last week and then into this week. And so from like a scheme standpoint, any of that, no, there isn't anything we're just trying to hammer out. It's just really keeping our kids focused and energized, knowing that it's been 3 weeks since we played.
And last but certainly not least, we're at Liberty High School. Now we're joined by Liberty head coach Colin Thomas. And Coach Thomas, you guys are here. You've got Basha coming up. How are you getting your team ready to play this game?
Yes, Bash is a tremendous team, so we've had a hard week of practice, been very physical. We understand next week we have to play our best football, but very excited to play them next week.
So, Basha, there was kind of an argument that they could potentially be the 2 seed going in 10-0. Does that just give you extra motivation, and how do you kind of have your guys get over that and just look at it as another game?
Yes, Bash is really, really good. They're very talented, very fast. So I don't think the seed matters at this point in time. Right? We played the best team, so we'll be ready to play next Friday night and hope for a great game.
Looking at your team, what's your guys' identity this year through the regular season?
Yeah, defensively, we're really good in the box. Gardner's had a big year, and Jack Stam's a tremendous player for us. And then offensively, we're very balanced offensively, with running the ball and throwing the ball. So we got to continue doing that to win next week.
And last of all, what do you think is going to be the difference maker for your team if you guys are going to be the team to come out with the win?
Sure. Well, again, they have great team speed, and we got to negate that somehow. We have a lot of experience. We've been there before. We were in the open last year, so I'm hoping to get a close game in the fourth quarter, and that experience shows up for us.
Thanks to all the coaches that joined us today on Bleacher Talk, and best of luck this Friday. Coming up, we've got a special edition of Social Spotlight.
With a recruiting roundup twist as well, alongside Jordan Ham.
Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon, and we've got a special edition of our Social Spotlight segment because we've got Jordan Ham with us for a little recruiting roundup spotlight.
Yeah, Jordan Ham, you're our recruiting roundup guy, brought to you by IBEW Local 640. So Jordan, who's the first player you're looking to spotlight today?
Yeah, I wanted to highlight a couple of players here that will be competing in the open division round, and wanted to kick things off with Javen Jacobs over at Saguaro. He posted this photo with his final stats, nearly 1,500 all-purpose yards in 10 games and 13 touchdowns. This guy's just been a Swiss Army knife for Jason Mons the past couple of years, whether it's offense, defense, running the ball, catching the ball, sometimes throwing the ball. So he's been a guy that they have utilized in so many different ways.
Every time I've seen Saguaro play, he's just balled out. He's on another level.
All right, so we've got another one, right? What's number 2 on the list?
Yeah, another wide receiver that has really showed out this year, Christian Anaya over at Hamilton. He set the record for most receptions by a Husky receiver in school history. Also has 17 touchdowns. So another guy just making big plays each and every week. And you see all these great plays that Nico Marchio has been making. He's been spreading the wealth pretty well, but it always seems like Anaya is his first target and having a tremendous year. Hopefully we can really see his recruitment pick up at the end of the year because he's had such a tremendous senior season.
And I know you've got another one for us as well. Who else do you want to highlight?
Yes, we also have Gardner. You're over at Liberty. This is a guy that had a really good Friday a couple Fridays ago. He not only got an offer from Texas, he not only got an offer from ASU, he also got an offer from Cal, all in a 24-hour span. So this is a 2023 guy in the trenches, just a guy who already looks like he's in his mid-20s, size wise, and the way he's been able to build himself up. So this is certainly a guy to watch the next couple of years, and in the next couple of games here for the open division should be a really fun defense to see with Liberty, and Gardner is certainly leading the way.
All right, that's 3 social spotlights. Who's closing us out at number 4?
Yeah, this tweet from Zach Poff over at Max Preps asked a question that I think if we've seen Basha play, we've asked ourselves that question. And why do you punt and why do you kick to Cole Martin? This guy is, top 2023 player in the state, lockdown corner, can do so much on the defensive side of the ball, but also a game changer in special teams. And he's, you kick it in his zip code, he's likely going to have a good return and potentially bring it back. So be warned, rest of open division, if Cole Martin is standing back there, maybe just kick it out of bounds.
That'll wrap up Bleacher Talk today. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. We had so much fun. Of course, our quick picks with Bruce Cooper.
Always
Claudia,
a blast.
You're still trying to dig your way out of a hole in the standings.
I am not that far back. Oh, my goodness.
You've done a good job climbing out. Of course, we talked with 4 coaches from around the Open Division. Best of luck to them this week. And Jordan Hand, thank you for joining us for our Social Spotlight and Recruiting Roundup.
If you want more Bleacher Talk, you can head to sports360az.com. We'll see you next week.